Hi, my name is Nicole, and I want to talk about a topic that is a main part of human dignity and gender equality as a whole, and that is the topic of reproductive health rights. Reproductive health is not just a medical concern, but it is connected to power, politics, culture, and human rights. Despite decades of progress, reproductive care remains unequal. Reproductive health is an issue that covers many aspects, including access to contraception, abortion, maternal health care, sex education, fertility services, and protection from coercive practices like forced sterilization or child marriage. Reproductive health is unfortunately something that does remain challenged globally. So, some gender system and ideology, like differing between the US and other countries, would be, for example, the US has a patriarchal gender ideology, and it is created through political and religious control of women's reproductive rights. Policies reflect the idea that women's bodies are public property to be controlled. We can see that in the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade in 2022, which took away the federal protection for abortion rights that women fought so long to actually get. Operating in other countries, so in Poland, Catholic conservative abortion laws restrict access even in life-threatening situations for a woman. And in El Salvador, abortion is prohibited and criminalized, leading to imprisonment even in the event of a miscarriage. So although the United States doesn't have the best options for women, it is better than some other countries, but that is not a very high bar to reach. Also relating to this, internationally, progress came with the 1994 ICPD conference and the 1995 Beijing Platform for Action, which framed reproductive rights as human rights. Colonial legacies and religious conservatism have continued to delay and reverse the progress in many regions, as we're seeing on this slide. Globalization has both expanded and challenged reproductive access. So looking at some different strategies of resistance, accommodation, and hybridity over time. With resistance, we can see that Planned Parenthood has fought legal battles for decades to preserve reproductive rights for women. A big thing is different hashtags, honestly. Social media is very popular, and it is the quickest way to spread words these days. So different hashtags such as the hashtag #MyBodyMyChoice, they have gone viral, and they have contributed to a lot of people gaining more understanding about what reproductive health rights are. So for accommodation, some women resort to self-managed abortions using pills that risk their safety but maintain autonomy. We will talk more about that in the following slides. So hybridity, midwives incorporate traditional knowledge with modern contraceptive practices to navigate resistance to Western medicines. One of the most important reproductive right movements is that of the Green Wave movement, which took place in Latin America but did lead to abortion law reform in Argentina, Mexico, and Canada, which is huge. Cross-cultural perspective. I thought that this was really interesting. China used to have a one-child policy, which led to forced abortions and sterilizations, and now they have fears of underpopulation, which have led them to coercive pronatalism, which basically forces or strongly encourages people to have children, which is another form of reproductive control. In my opinion, if a government is going to have a lot of say about my body, then they should at least pick one side of it and not do a complete 180. But today, new technology gives women access to self-managed abortions in restricted settings using drugs like misoprostol. African women are 130 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than women in wealthy nations. I thought that this was a statistic that really stood out to me because that is huge. We need intersectional approaches to recognize how poverty, race, displacement, and conflict affect healthcare access, reproductive rights, and everything. Honestly, reproductive rights must be central to all human rights. Reproductive health is political, and it is 100% a reflection of who holds power over bodies and choices, and that is 9 times out of 10 not women. Without solutions, reproductive freedom will remain a privilege and not a right, which is very, very unfortunate because it is something that should be a basic human right.